From Get Out to It, here's Metro.co.uk's top 10 films of 2017 and... As 2017 draws to a close, it's time to take stock of the incredible year of film behind us. Many may have been wondering early on in the year where all the good films were, but by summer's end you had horror movies breaking records, DC superheroes finally getting the films they deserved, and one former boy band making his successful Hollywood debut. But how many of these made it into our top 10 of the year? We asked all Metro.co.uk reporters to send over their favourite films which had 2017 UK release dates, tallied them up and finished with the following and 10. Baby Driver. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. The soundtrack is everything for this one, and it is the coolest film of the year. Plus, anything with Jon Hamm is a win. 9. Hidden Figures. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. The true story of three absolutely brilliant African-American women who worked at NASA in the 60s and ended up being the brains behind one of the greatest operations in history, the launch of astronaut John Glenn into orbit, which completely turned around the space race. And it's so empowering and fun and incredibly heartwarming that I defy you not to laugh and cry your way through the entire 2 hours. It's the film to watch as the truly awful 2017 comes to a close. An incredible story that needed to be told. Taraji, Octavia and Janelle were all phenomenal in their roles. 8. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. Director Rian Johnson's confident, thrilling outing digs deep into the highlights of its predecessor The Force Awakens, while fleshing out the universe with fresh ideas which give this trip to a galaxy far, far away an identity all of its own. It smartly subverts expectations in both plot and its cutting humor. It would have been so easy to totally butcher Star Wars, but after the success of The Force Awakens, incredibly the second one is even better. Much richer in terms of plot and characters, while keeping some well-timed humor and building to some brilliant scenes. 7. Wonder Woman. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. There's no doubting that the film wouldn't be half the success that it is without an incendiary performance from Gadot, who allows her superhero to display a side that's a little bit human. An exhilarating origins tale that is undoubtedly the greatest film to have emerged from the DC Comics extended universe. 6. It. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. Director Muschietti uses horror tropes such as the young boy afraid of the dark empty cellar and the pouring autumnal rain to put you on the edge of your seat before you've even met Pennywise the dancing clown, and when that moment comes you won't be ready for it, even if you think you are. I loved the original It, but this one was like It meets The Goonies meets Stranger Things, and it worked. Finn Wolfhard is going to be a massive, massive star. More, Film 5. La La Land. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. Justin Hurwitz's uplifting musical score runs through your veins, leaving you feeling like you could fly out of your chair and fall in love with whoever walks past. La La Land is one of the best films to come out of Hollywood in the last 2 decades, a modern-day masterpiece. I couldn't stop smiling after seeing it. 4. Blade Runner 2049. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. This was absolutely beautiful, and lived up to its predecessor. Blade Runner 2049 opts for sleek, breathtaking visuals that would be entertaining enough on their own. And coupled with a compelling, well-told story, however, the 2 3/4 hours running time just flies by. Amazingly, it pulled off the feat of being a competent sequel to one of the greatest movies of the 20th century. Immersive scenes linger in your head afterwards. 3. Dunkirk. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. It's a masterpiece of filmmaking and will leave you on the edge of your seat, unable to catch your breath from the opening shots to the closing credits. It's one of Nolan's best films to date, thanks to Hans Zimmer's tight, intense score, as well as a cast that features famous faces: Tom Hardy, Mark Rylance, Cillian Murphy, and some new, such as the brilliant Fionn Whitehead, who leads much of the film's first opening sequences. 2. Moonlight. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. Another incredible piece of queer cinema. I was so happy that this got the recognition it deserved. Moonlight's beauty is that it shows how the parts of us hidden deep in darkness can still shine brightly. So beautiful. Captivating. A touching story beautifully told. Director Barry Jenkins weaves his story with poetic, leisurely grace, and there's a languid sensuality to James Laxton's stunning cinematography, set to Nicholas Britell's haunting score. 1. Get out. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. What's not to love about this film? A brilliant twist, a narrative on race in America, laugh out loud moments, and genuinely jumpy parts. Get Out cleverly reinvents the monstrous extremes of horror as it peels back the layer of white liberal racism that is seemingly bubbling away under the surface. Peele knows exactly what it takes to build up a sense of slow-burning intrigue, and the result is one big pressure cooker of a film that painfully examines the darker side of progressive America right until a finale that twists the film's social subtext to the most gruesome extremes possible. The sharpest, most thoughtful, and against all odds, the funniest horror film that Hollywood has churned out in a long old while.